Hi guys, it's me Dinithi. This is the 11th video of the series of designing an e-commerce web application, and today I'm going to explain the programming part of our user profile updating process. So here's my user profile page. I discussed about the design earlier. Now let's get into the real deal. First, let's update our profile. I'm gonna add a profile image and my address. First, let's add a profile image. So update profile image, and I'm selecting this picture as my profile image and open. Okay, so now I got a Mickey Mouse profile picture. And then when it comes to the address, let's check the user has address table. So this is the user has address table, and there's no entry of an address for dinithiteacher@gmail.com. Now let's update the address. Address line 1, address line 2, and province Western, district Colombo, city Dehiwala Mount Lavinia, and the postal code. And then update my profile and done. So now let's check the user has address table again and refresh. Yep, so my address is added, which means my account is updated successfully. Now let's move on to the process. So this is my code, userprofile.php. First, I connected my database using connection.php. Then I'm checking whether there's a value in this u variable. So this u variable contains not only the email address but also the password. So if the condition becomes true, then I assigned the email address of the user to this email variable using session u variable. Then I used this query to get all the columns from the user table where the email address equals to the email address we got using session u variable. And also I've inner joined this gender table to it. So I'll get the result set with the gender, and I assigned it to this details rs variable. Then I got all from the profile image table where the user email equals to our email variable and assign it to image rs variable. Then comes this huge query. Simply I got the city, district and the province of the user using this and assign it to this address rs variable. Then I got the result row of each variable as an associative array using this fetch assoc function and assign them to these variables, which are data, image data and address data. And then I used this part to display our profile picture in the user profile page. If the path field of the image data variable is empty, I assigned it to use this image as the profile image. But if it isn't empty, then I asked the server to use that image as the profile image. Then I got the first name and the last name using data variable. And then comes the email. I assigned this change image function to update profile image button on click. So let's check that function out first. Here's my change image function. First, I got this view image and profile image elements using getElementById function. So view image is our previously added profile picture and profile image is the new image that we are adding. Then I call for this anonymous function on change of the file variable, which is our new profile image. In this function, I am assigning our new profile image to an indexed array and assigned this array to this file1 variable. Since I'm uploading only one picture, I gave the index as 0, and then I used this create object URL method to create a new URL for the file1 variable. Then I assigned it to this URL variable, and finally I assigned that URL as the src of this view variable, which is the ID of the previous profile image. And that's how I changed my profile picture to a new one. Moving back to user profile.php, here comes first name, last name and all that. Since these details are already there in our database, I echoed that data directly. Then comes the address section. So if the line 1 field in the address data variable is not empty, which means there is a value, I added that value to the input field of address line 1. But if it's empty, then I left the input field empty as well. Address line 2 works just the same. Then comes the province and district. First, I got all from both province and district tables and assigned them to province rs and district rs variables. Then I got the number of rows in the province result set and assigned to province num variable. Then I created a for loop. The loop counter $x is starting from 0. It will iterate until x doesn't pass province num, and it's gonna increase the value by 1 after each iteration. Then I fetched each row that fulfilled above conditions and assigned it to province data variable. And then comes this option tag. So a quick recap, address data variable has the users city, district and province, and this province data variable contains all the provinces. So over here, if the province ID field in our address data variable isn't empty, which means there is a value, and if the ID field in province data equals to that ID field in our address data, then I selected that ID so that province name will be displayed on the input field instead of this select province. Plus, you can change it anytime. And if the province ID field in the address data is actually empty, then simply it will display all of the provinces in the menu with the select province. Okay, so this district menu and city menu works exactly the same as the province menu. And then comes the postal code. So if the postal code field of the address data isn't empty, then it will echo the postal code. But if it's empty, then there will be a blank input for us to type it. And then comes the gender and this update profile button. I assigned this update profile function on click. So here's my function. First, I got all the inputs using getElementById function. Then I created a new form and appended all the data to it. And then comes our profile image. So if you haven't uploaded a profile image, which is when the image file length becomes 0, then I used a confirmation box and asked whether are you sure that you don't want to update the profile image. And if you say OK, which means true, then it will send you an alert saying you have not selected any images. But if you cancel the confirmation box, which means false, then it will append your profile image as well. And then I created a new XML HTTP request and I sent my request to the server, which is updateprofileprocess.php. Moving on to the server location. First, I started a session and connected my database to the server. And then I checked whether this U session variable is declared or not. So U is our email address and password. And if it has a value, then this whole thing will happen. Else, it will ask us to log in first. So if u has a value, then I got all the values I got using post method and assign them to variables except the profile image. So here I checked whether the profile image has value, and if yes, I assigned it to this image variable, and then I created an array including the accepted file extensions, which are JPEG, PNG and SVG, and assigned it to this allowed image extensions variable. And I created another variable called filex to get the type of the image that the user uploaded. Then I used this inArray function and checked whether the filex type is not an allowed image extension. So if it's true, which means that the extension isn't allowed, then I echoed please select a valid image. But if the statement becomes false, which means the extension is allowed, then I created a new variable called new file extension. Then I'm assigning the extension type of our profile image to this variable. So first I'm checking whether it's JPEG or not, and if yes, then I assign that to our new file extension variable. Over here I'm checking whether it's JPEG, then PNG, then SVG, and then I created new file name for image including user's first name and a unique ID with the extension. Then assign this whole path to file name variable, and then I used this move uploaded file function and moved it to the new location. So this is our file and this is the destination. Then I search whether the user has already uploaded a profile image or not. The number of rows of our result set can be either 1 or 0, because you can't upload more than one picture at a time. And if you upload a second one, first one gets deleted. So if it's 1, which means the user has previously uploaded one, then I updated the record with a new image, else I inserted a new record. So the profile image part is done, and then comes the personal details. Over here, I updated the user's first name, last name and mobile. Then I checked whether he has an address or not, and if yes, then I updated that address, but if not, then I inserted a new record for the address. And then, since everything went well, the server sends the response text as success. Moving back to the script, over here, if I get the response text as success, then I reloaded the window, so the updated details will be displayed after it. And if not, I sent an alert with the response text. Moving back to the user profile, I forgot to mention this one earlier, so going all the way up over here, so as I mentioned earlier, this whole thing will happen only if this u session variable is declared, but if not, then you simply would be redirected to the home page. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this video. In this video, I took you guys through the programming part behind our eShop user profile. So thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you all again. Goodbye.